All right, let's get started. Sorry about the hair. I was out for a swim today and the wind was blowing and I got that wind blown look. It actually dried before I could style it, so don't worry about it, Maria. It'll be fine. Okay, next one. Estimating decimal products. Okay, estimating is supposed to be a shortcut, so let's make sure it is a shortcut. First off, I'm just going to tell you this though, and this is when you get started, and this is the biggest part of estimating. If I do 1 times 4, for example, it's going to be 4, dude. That's right, little Johnny, it's going to be 4. Now, if I take anything less than 1, I'm not even going to do it 1 time. So if I take 0.5 times 4, my estimate, it better be less than 4 because I'm not even giving you 4 1 time, not even once. That's it. You're getting less than 1. So this is less than 1. So 0.4, 5 times 4. I could just think of it as 5 times 4. Well, that's 2. But as we said, your answer must be less than 1. I'm just going to say 2. That number better be less than 4. 2 is less than 4. That's a good answer. Okay. The B type. Now, again, it's just going to come down to multiply. Multiply it out, make it simple. If I took, for example, 42.3 times maybe 61.8, well, you know what? Those decimals are no longer important because they're so small. So just get rid of them. Best of you is to think of this as like... I
think the 42 could be like 40, and I think the other one would be like closer to 60. So 40 times 60.
Yes, Jenny, that's right. I would think of that as 40 times 60. And that looks good. A couple of zeros later, 4 times 6 is 24, 2,400. You're done. But now you can see that those decimals mean next to nothing. So that would be the B type. C type. Sometimes you get a decimal times a decimal. So if I had 0.21 times maybe 0.46 or something like that. Now these are both less than 1. So your answer is going to be way, way, way smaller than 1. What would you be thinking?
I would be thinking 0.2 times 0.4.
That's a good thinking, little Johnny. You're just going to do 0.2 times 0.maybe 5. Okay? And then if we have 2 times 5, that's 10. But notice, we have 2 decimal places here. Of course, there's no way it's going to be 10. 0 times 0 is 10. Don't be ridiculous. Okay, we have 2 decimal places, so we should have 2 decimal places here, and we get 0.10. Now, I know if you punch this in on your calculator, and you should have your calculator testing out to see how smart you are, you should get 0.1 because the calculator will automatically just get rid of that 0 for you. So that would be about it. And that's estimating decimals. Let's just do one more, maybe D type. If we had maybe 0.48 times, let's say, 78. Again, we would try to make these into very manageable numbers. I would say 0.5 times maybe 80. That sounds good, right? Now, is your answer going to be bigger or smaller than 80?
Smaller than 80.
That's right, little Jenny. It is going to be smaller because this is less than 1 times 80. I might just do, well, we got 5 times 80, so we got 400. But how many decimals there are? We move this over to here. There's 1 decimal place only, 1 and 1, and we get an answer of 40. Now 0.5 times 80, is 40 smaller than 80? Yes, it is. So that would be equal to 40. Yeah, we did have to think of this as 5 times 80. It's not 5 times 8, but 5 times 80. That's why we got that extra 0 in there. Okay, it's a little bit tricky, but if you just think about it as counting the decimals and you'll be fine, and just use your common sense. That's probably the biggest thing. Common sense.